Chairman Janikowski, we're today. If we look at today's New York Times, it talks about the hacking case and the head of the Rupert Murdoch British newspaper empire was formally charged on Tuesday, along with her husband, for and 4 others of perverting the course of justice in the phone hacking situation that's going on. And I'm looking to that because it bolsters the case that I want to make with you. There is evidence that News Corporation has been involved in a broad range of misconduct, reaching the highest levels of the New York-based company and involving actions in the UK and the US. Now, if we look at the list here and we see these are senior people from the company, from the News Corp, and they applied for renewal of the license in 2007. 2007, 5 years ago. And despite this long list, the FCC has not announced any plans for a proactive investigation into whether or not News Corp is fit to hold broadcast license in the U.S. And I address this to each one of you. What does it take for the FCC to begin an investigation?
Well, obviously, we have important responsibilities under the law. We're aware of the serious issues that we see in the UK. These matters may come before the FCC as adjudicatory matters. I think it would be inappropriate for us to prejudge them, and also inappropriate to speak about any investigations we may or may not.
We're not talking about an outcome. We're talking about an action that has to be taken.
We don't comment, as other agencies of government don't comment on the status of investigations. Obviously, we have important responsibilities that we will take seriously. It's important that we not prejudge it.
That would be very good. Take seriously. The head of the company found unfit to lead a major international company by a British parliamentary committee. Doesn't that suggest that maybe we ought to be looking at them to see what effect that has? They do have an obligation for good character to have a license renewal here. And it's been a long time. It's my understanding that the FCC is looking into allegation. News Corp deliberately misled the FCC in regard its application to renew the license of WWOR in New Jersey. Mr. McDowell, do you have a point of view here about when we ought to get started on looking at this?
I think the chairman has stated it actually quite eloquently that we...
I heard him.
Okay, very good. I agree with what the chairman said.
Ms. Clyburn?
Senator, we do have a process in place. Any petitioner or potential petitioner has a right to file before us, and when and if they do, we take all of those matters seriously and will review in a timely manner.
Ms. Rosen-Worcel.
The Communications Act speaks in terms of character, financial, and technical qualifications for broadcast licensees, so the Commission should monitor the situation.
And Senator, the risk of going last is I have nothing original to say, but I will associate myself with my colleagues on that question and commit to you that in the context of the license renewal proceeding, I will study the record very carefully and support appropriate action.
Well, I think that some action here is absolutely required, and we ought to get going on this. New Jersey, where one of their stations exists, would be the 4th largest media market in the country. And here these people have a license, and they're fiddling around with this. Charges are flying in all over. And I think while there's not enough evidence for us to make a decision, certainly we ought to be looking at this and saying, well, isn't it time for you to step up and declare yourself, or take that license and say the patience of the country has long run out, and we're going to award the license to a deserving party.